everybody, and welcome to Project Life Weekly. This is the day that I post. Most of the time I'm working in my Project Life family album. Today I want to show you a walkthrough of my 2024 Project Life personal album. This is in a 6x12 album, and I'm sharing this today. This was actually going to be a bonus video this week, but I got pulled into an IEP meeting for Violet. That is individual education plan. And there's just some things happening with Violet. She's autistic, and this is her first year of high school. There are just some things that we're struggling with this year, and I got pulled into that this morning, and it just threw me off. I didn't sleep well last night. I was worried about it yesterday. It's just this whole thing. And so I will have a Project Life in my family album. We'll be finishing up this last year's album this week, and I will have that for you on Friday. I'm just going to swap my videos today. Well, you're seeing this today on Tuesday, and it's the walkthrough of my Project Life personal album. So I do a family album. A lot of you are probably familiar with that. Last year, I started doing a personal album as well. I didn't want something that was really big, like a 12x12 or a 9x12. I don't really need that much room for a personal album. And I had a bunch of 6x12 page protectors on hand, and originally I just started putting them together. I didn't really have an album. I couldn't find an album. I had kind of looked all over the place and couldn't find one. This one was gifted to me. I think it's an an old Allie Edwards, because it has the 4 rings. So I think that, and the way the rings are on here, they're not attached to the spine. They're like attached to the back. So I think that this is an old Allie Edwards one. It was gifted to me on a Facebook group that I am a part of. I had shared my pages, and I had said I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. I can't find an album, and the gal very kindly sent me an album. So originally this started out as, well, and it's pretty much stayed the same. I had unsubscribed to Allie Edwards Stories by the Month. I had decided last year that I was going to use older core kits for my Project Life family album, and so I really wasn't using her kits, her Stories by the Month kits. So I unsubscribed. I stopped getting them. And then the January kit came out. I loved it. The February kit came out. I really loved it. I decided to sign back up, and I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to do a smaller album, not necessarily 6x8, something a little bit bigger, but not as big as 12x12. This seemed like a really good fit. And I would use the Stories by the Month to tell some more personal stories, more things that are related just to me that maybe I don't want to put in my family album. We have our family album. I swap them out into our living room. And so lots of people look through them. My kids look through them. You know, these aren't necessarily stories that I want like them just looking at, or, you know, a perfect example is all the stuff that's going on with Violet right now, and this IEP and the meeting that we, you know, have to go to, the things we have to do. I want to document that, but not necessarily in our family album. And so this just gives me a way to document some stories that are about me, about my website, redesigning my website, getting out of Stampin' Up, doing what I'm doing here online. It just gives me an opportunity and a place to tell those stories. So what I ended up doing was this kind of layout where it's like I have something up here that is a pattern, and then I was doing the 3, you know, the monthly 3, so February 3, and then I would do a photo, and then kind of anything else I wanted to do, I would do behind that, and then the very next month I would do kind of the same formula. Something up top, the monthly 3, and then like a photo, and that's how the album and the months, using the Stories by the Month. I just put this together. This was like my title page, so to say. It says 2024. Again, I started in February because I started getting the kits again in February. When I made the decision I couldn't get the January kit, you know, was already gone. So here is February. I have a couple of photos. I do my journaling on the computer, and I add that either by using the digital card and adding it right to it and printing it out, or using sticker paper. Just last week, I shared a process video of wrapping this album up and finishing it. It was so awesome to do that. I did that in my members group. I did like August through the end of the year. So you can see that you can use smaller page protectors in here. So I really like using these 3x, I think these are 3x8 from Allie Edwards. And then I really love being able to put in the larger photos. There are a couple of spots here that are blank that I had intended to put something and either decided not to, or I still need to go in and slide something in to that pocket. The hard thing about the larger photos is I get that done through the Project Life app, and currently I have about $200 worth of prints sitting in the app that I just honestly I can't afford to purchase right now. It's a lot of money to put out on prints, and I don't have it right now, so I just wait. I had hoped that Becky Higgins would do a sale, like a lot of times in October she does a print sale, and she didn't do that this year. And then I ended up adding all of my December daily stuff to it, and so it just is a really big order. So that's sometimes like with the bigger prints, there might be something sitting in the Project Life app that I have intended to go here. It just hasn't got printed yet. So then we go into March. Again, I loved the Stories by the Month kits last year. Because of the way the rings are, I did have to punch different holes. I think I had to add these two because of the way they are. This year, I will not have to do this. This year, I just have a standard like D-ring album. So then in April, I started doing a project called Me, Myself, and I, and that is done by Hepa here on YouTube. She is My Little Journal on YouTube. She does this project. She does it in a month, like her birthday month. She does all these prompts and puts together a mini album. I am not good at getting things done in a month. I mean, if December Daily has taught us anything, is that I am not good at completing something in a 1 month period. Things get busy and life gets busy, and it's just, I feel like I just never have it in me to get something finished by the end of the month. So instead of making this a monthly, like a month project where I do it in the month of my birthday and I do all the prompts, I just did the prompts throughout you're just going to see that there's prompts throughout my album, and I will continue doing that. I did not finish all of the prompts this year, so I will just continue that, and then when I run out of prompts, I might just start all over and do it again. It adds a little bit of fun and interest to my album. One page that I do need to finish that I did not realize until I was looking through this is this page here. This is staying connected, and it's social media, and then I have this page protector in here, and this is supposed to be all about your social media platforms. So like my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook, kind of that's what this is about. It's not so much what inspires you or, what are you looking at on social media. It's like about your accounts, which will be fun for me to document since I do this online and I do it for work and I have business stuff that happens. It'll be kind of fun to do that. And that's the only thing that I have not done. I actually forgot that I needed to do that. So then we go into May, and then you can start to see that these are the layouts that start to filter in to the album. And I do have a bonus. The reason this was going to be a bonus video and I was going to share it on the 15th is because I am going to be doing a digital release every 15th of the month. So once a month on the 15th, I will do a digital release, and I am going to show you what I created this month and I'm sharing with you. And I'm just going to do it a little bit early since I'm sharing this video a little bit early. So here is favorite music, and I talked about discovering Taylor Swift last year. I know I'm really late to the game. You either love her or you hate her. And I just have a really fun story about why I started listening to Taylor Swift and what kind of transpired with that. And that actually did happen in my birthday month. So anyways, I just documented that. And then here's another little insert And then June is here, and then my go-to hairstyle. I talked about getting my hair dyed. And then it was really fun to do some traditional style layouts in here. They're weird because they're 6 by 12, so they're narrow. They're almost more like a traveler's notebook style layout in that they're tall and thin, but I had a lot of fun doing this. And then I just use all of the pieces from the stories by the month. So this, and then this, the cards, the vellum, the chipboard. These are die cut pieces that I use. My favorite thing to do. There's journaling attached to that. This was fun. This is already different than it was. This is what, June? So this was my husband's work schedule and a picture of my keys in the ignition of the car. And this is already different, so it's fun to look back and see that. And then I loved this. I loved doing the circles and this layout. This was July. July was really fun. You can see it's very like July, and even like June is very decorated. It's like very creative. There's a lot going on. You'll see towards the end of the year that there's not as much going on. There's not as many decorations, and that was intentional. It was an intentional decision that I made. So here is August. So that was July. And then here's August. Sometimes the month has a lot to it. Like August has a lot to it. But then like September, I think, has like one layout, or you'll see like back here, you know, March had like one layout. So I'm not pressuring myself to do multiple layouts or a lot of layouts in one month. Just whatever fits, whatever like pictures I have or whatever story pops up that I want to tell, I will add that. If I have time to do one of the prompts, I do it. But this is a no pressure project for me. It literally just is what I'm feeling like adding, and my time if I have time and if I'm feeling creative. Okay, this was really fun. So if you flip this up here, there's a card here, and these came in the stories by the month kits, and they were these monthly cards that said, you know, the month. So August looks like this, and then it said around here. Now, I had been originally just using it for journaling. I was like, I don't really know how to use this card other than for journaling, and I really liked it. I thought it was, you know, a great card, but I did my journaling on it. I didn't think anything of it. I think August is the first time I used it. I don't think I used it any before August. So then when I was wrapping up this last weekend, when I was wrapping up the September through December, I came across that card. You see October here, and I put photos in it. And then for November, I think maybe not November. So October I did it. And then September right here, I put photos in it. And I thought, oh, this is so cool to add photos to it. And when I did the October one, I was thinking, I wish I had these cards. And I went back to see if I had purchased the digital kits, and if like maybe I could just recreate these and print them out and use them this year. The thing is that I missed getting the January kit because I wasn't getting it. And then in November, I missed the window to add the digital kit, so I don't have January and I don't have November. So what I did is I just created my own. So I just took this idea and I created my own. This is my digital release for this month. If you are in the membership group, you will get these. There will be a link for you to download them and get them. If you would like to get these and you're not a part of the membership, you can purchase it for $2.99. And there will be a link to be able to click on it. You will get the PDF where you print them out. I've printed mine on 65-pound cardstock. So you can print it out from the PDF. Or if you want the digital version of this, you can you'll get the file that has all of these in the digital form, so you can use them in Project Life or in Photoshop, or if you just want to add it to your Word program and add journaling to it, you can do that as well. And so I created these. It says hello, and then the month, and then 2025, and then each month has a different camera on it. I've used January, and I'll show you that in just a second, but just to give you an idea of how it looks, they all say hello, and then the month, and then the year, and then there is a camera on there. And I really like the way these came out, so I'm going to use these in this year's Project Life personal album. I did the title page and set this up with members this last week, but then you can see that I've added my card down here. I've added, I trimmed mine down slightly so that I could add it to another card and add some color around it. And then I will either put in photos or I will add journaling. And I'm going to use that card every single month and do something with it. I thought that was really fun. So if you're interested, again, if you're a member, you will just get that. There will be a link in the Facebook group. There will be a link on YouTube in the community post where you can get those links. And then if you would like to purchase it, you can see the link below in the description below, or on my website, there will be a link and you can do that. So this is August. And again, I just did that same thing, and then there was a lot that happened in August that I documented. I did some hand journaling, and then I also did some typed journaling, and then this could either be August or it could be the start of September, and I just did another prompt, and then I did my journaling on that, September, and then this is where you start to see less embellishing. And that is simply because I wanted to get it done. So I just wasn't interested in embellishing as much as I was getting the photos in and getting the journaling. There's a lot of journaling that I did throughout these months here. So you can see that I did some of it on sticker paper. I hand wrote some of it. This is a screenshot. So this is something that I often do. So like this one right here it is a screenshot, but it obviously has something to do with wellness, because it says, remember, recovery takes time. Healing is not linear. Healing is a lifelong journey, and it's okay. It doesn't look or feel pretty all the time. Give yourself grace. August, September, October, November, probably even December was very difficult for me. I just was struggling quite a lot. And so that's probably something I came across on Instagram. I screenshot it and then I put it in here. This is a perfect example of something that I wouldn't necessarily want to put in our family album. It just doesn't make sense for that space, but it makes perfect sense for this space. So then we go into September, and then you can see September is like maybe this, and then October is this, and then I go into, it's a couple pages, but then like November is one page and December is one page front and back. So with this, I did not do the journaling for this. I did the decorating and all of that and put this together in our members video earlier this week. But I didn't do the journaling because, as I said, I've been struggling for several months with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of stuff going on with Violet at school, a lot of having to be very present and, figuring out support and handling all of that. I've struggled. And this prompt is some of my greatest fears. And I felt like if I started to journal this, I would be distraught. And I would not recover well, and it would take me several days, to pull myself together. And so I just didn't want to do that. Like, I'm just not in the right mental space to be able to do this. So I'm leaving it blank with the intention of going back. And quite honestly, I may never go back. I may never it may be something that, you know, out of sight, out of mind, and I don't go back and do, and that will be okay with me. Doing these projects is never about perfection for me. I'm never looking for it to be perfect and totally complete and every embellishment in place and every piece of journaling in place. I do all of this for the enjoyment of doing it. And if certain things get left undone, I'm never going to be sad about it, because whatever I'm doing is enough. There's page after page after page, photo after photo after photo, words after words after words, telling my story, sharing my perspective, sharing the things I love, the things I don't love, sharing the things that I'm struggling with. So probably if somebody picked this up and was looking at it and came to this and was like, oh wow, this is blank, I wonder what her greatest fear would be. Probably looking back through some of these photos, some of these journaling, it's probably going to be pretty clear that my greatest fear is losing my family. So losing my children, losing my husband, like it's very clear probably through this that is something that I would probably fear. So I just want to give you the permission that everything doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to start a project and then feel like, well, I started it, it has to be this way. It has to be X, Y, and Z. It has to be this perfection, or I shouldn't start it, or I can't start it, or it's not worthy of starting, or it's not worthy of sharing, or it's not, like, none of that is true. Whatever you're doing is totally enough. Whatever you're gravitating towards is totally enough. If you are not into journaling or you struggle with it, that's fine. That's totally fine. Don't do it. You don't have to do it. If all of your layouts are in pockets because you struggle like with the creativity part of like putting things together from scratch, that's okay. If you have to use a sketch and you just follow a sketch, or you look at this and you're like, hey, I really love that, I'm gonna copy that exactly, that's okay. It's okay. Whatever you're doing is okay. It's enough. Okay, so then I go into the next, I was usually doing these like back to back. Like if I did a layout like this, like added a prompt here, then that's probably what I would do on the back. And the next one is Bad Habit. Definitely Dr. Pepper. When I'm struggling, I consume it. I don't consume more than one a day. Like I make myself only have one a day. But it is still a bad habit. It still is something I wish I didn't do. I wish it wasn't something that I gravitated towards or reached for. But it definitely is. So I grabbed this screenshot. I'm in a Facebook group that's all about Dr. Pepper, people who love Dr. Pepper. And I grabbed this like screenshot. It says, I'm going to drown my stress in Dr. Pepper. And I just thought it was so fitting, because oftentimes that's what I'm doing. I'm reaching for that Dr. Pepper when I'm super stressed. And then I just added some journaling about it. And then I went and did this page here. I did some journaling on here. I added photos on here because there was already so much journaling. That's sort of what sparked the idea to do photos in these squares. Is I was like, I have nothing else to say. Like, I've said everything I want to say about October. And so I was like, well, why don't I just add some photos and do like an overview? And then, like I said, November, I only have one photo. I just have the November. And I love that I did this, that I colored it in. I'm so sad that the rest of these, I wasn't coloring them in, because I think that would have been an awesome way to add a little bit of color and tie things together. But I just don't know. I was not thinking to add color to that. So that's what November looks like. I was doing this writing where I was like, I'm just going to take Allie's advice and I'm going to just use my handwriting, and I hate it. I actually really like my handwriting. Like if you look, right, like here I hand wrote, and then here I hand wrote. I love my handwriting. I feel like I can write nice, and like I love doing it, but to do like the big letters or the different lettering or like the all caps, like, or using a brush pen, like I just suck at it and it looks awful. I spent way too much time trying to see if I had this card digitally so that I could redo it, because after I did it, I hated it. I don't have the card in the digital form, so I'm gonna leave it. and it's just going to be a reminder. Every time I look at this, I'm going to feel like I hate this card, but maybe it's not about the handwriting, maybe it's the sentiments behind it, and not every single layout that I do I'm totally in love with and I think is perfect. Not every single project I do is perfection. There's probably very few that are perfection, actually. So it's just part of it. Done for me. This card was already here. I did want to add a gratitude list. So for me, it being done is better than it being perfect, and me being able to wrap up this album and finish it up and feel good about it is more important than if everything is perfect. For December, I just used the front and the back. Again, I did the December feels like or looks like or 3 things about December. I added a photo I had in here, and then this was a 4x6 card, and it had space for journaling, and it had like the story or the details, something like that up here. I just covered it up with a photo, and then I just left that as the way to add my photo. And then down here I did journaling, and it was like 1, 2, 3, the details, and I just did 3 stories from December. I typed those up and added them directly to my boxes, and then I just picked one photo from December, and I think I printed this one and this one together on a 4x6 canvas and added that to December. So that is my personal Project Life album. There'll be more photos on my website. There'll be a link to the digital release for this month. This is my Hello Monthly, my very first. I've done digital stuff in the past, but I've just never made it a thing. I've never really made it a focus of what I was doing. It was just when I had time, and if I wanted to design something, I would, and then I would release it. But this year, on the 15th of every month, I will have a digital release for you. Again, if you are a member of the community, if you've joined with YouTube or on the website, then you will get these automatically. They're just part of something, a perk that you get for being a part of the community. And then if you would like to purchase it, you can get that link below, and you can pick that up. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, taking a look at my personal Project Life album. I will be back on Friday to share with you wrapping up this year's last year's Project Life album, so I can dive into this year's album, and I will have that for you on Friday. So I hope you're having a good week, and I will catch you in my very next video. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out my video. Here on the screen are 2 other videos that you can check out if you would like. If you remember watching this video and you've missed any of the member videos, or you're new, you can go back and watch older member videos if you would like. Thank you so much for checking out my video, and I will catch you in my very next project.